Great. So when we last left off, we were about to enter the Athenian sewers for God of War's sewer level. I'm going to crack open a nice tall boy here. And let's get to work. Suicide Bluff. It's a very happy name for a save point. Okay. There we go. So back across this sword bridge into the Athenian sewers, where we briefly visited at the end of yesterday's stream. And down this same spiral staircase. I wonder if this is... I wonder if it's a masked loading screen, but there are actual loading screens occasionally, so the masking isn't perfect. I already got this, yeah. We should have a little bit of action here. You know we saw some dudes. That lightning bolt ready. Easy enough. Sure I got all those red orbs, so some more bad dudes. More archers. Wow. That kind of went Legolas on me there. So I think there were a couple of combos that you can do with the triangle button that I wasn't using. Do I have enough? No, almost. Yesterday, I'll try to work those in. I saw those when I was going back over the footage. Heavier combos. So annoying. I'm better off just taking it out. That's much easier. Can't quite jump up that high, but I should have enough. I do. Reach level 4 on the Blades of Chaos. Okay, so now we get the L1 triangle, Hermes Fury. I never use the shoulder charge either. Achilles flip, right now I'm sticking X. Okay, so that's... Is that like the double dodge? 9,000 hit level 5. Okay. That's kind of cool. That also looks a little bit better than just the shoulder charge. Little gap closer, I guess. Can't hide anything from Kratos. Seeing some dead Athenians down here, I don't know why they would be down in the sewer. quite a few of them. Already got full magic apparently, so I'll top off my health instead. This also looks breakable, but I'm guessing it's not. And we should be fairly close to the magic upgrade as I open up a box of red orbs. This actually looks like a pretty good time for Rage of the Gods, or whatever it's called. Super powered mode. Why am I doing that? Oh, this button. That one's pretty good. Few enemies here. Several waves. These minotaurs that turtle up are pretty obnoxious. They seem to do it pretty quickly and pretty often. And I have... there's the lightning bolts. Can't lock onto them from back here, it seems. I probably can from up here. I can. So that seems like it's a lot more magic than I was getting out of chests earlier. I don't know if that's by design, or some chests just give you full and some don't. Be a pretty terrible place to run out of magic, given that you've got these... over there. You've got these archer guys you need to take out with the Zeus's lightning bolt thing. So it might be that chest right there shows a little mercy. And these guys respawn. So I'm guessing that music sting is telling me that I've completed that encounter. I do wonder, with the new God of War having just come out, if at some point they are going to release these games on PlayStation 4 with hopefully a little bit more effort put into the remaster than this one got. Because these textures don't hold up, and they definitely could have... feels like they definitely could have done a little bit more. Okay, here's another spiral staircase. This might have been the one I was thinking about earlier last night. I remembered one of them. I didn't remember the big two. This one looks kind of like a Nautilus shell. This looks almost cel-shaded. It's so low res. Okay. I don't know why that door would be there in the middle of the road to Athens, but that's a pretty clever way to have us loop back around. And I don't see Ares anymore. Oh, there he is. Yeah. Like I said, each of the games has these sweeping vistas that you get to take a look at that were really visually impressive for their time. This one doesn't hold up so well, but still sort of a series trademark that they had to honor, I think, in later installments. It's kind of one of the hallmarks of the franchise. I'll head back this way where we found, I think it was a Gorgon Eye last night, but which will actually allow us to progress towards the meat of the game, which is Pandora's Labyrinth. I was reading a review of this game that said, or maybe not of this one, but of the collection itself, which talked about the size and scale of these games being especially impressive, and I think that's correct. I know at the time it was incredibly impressive. I think a lot of those size and scale elements still are pretty cool. The giant sort of spectacle remains throughout the series as the games progress, and it gets even more over the top.
Kratos, the journey forward is perilous, but one you must complete if you are to have any hope of saving Athens.
The Oracle spoke of Pandora's box. Can it be real?
The box exists. It is the most powerful weapon a mortal can wield.
And with such a weapon, I could defeat Ares.
With the box, many things become possible, and so it is hidden well, far across the desert of lost souls. There is safe passage through the deadly sands, but only those who hear and follow the siren's song will discover it. You must find the sirens, Kratos. Only they can guide you to Kronos, the Titan.
A Titan lives?
Kronos is the last. Zeus has commanded him to wander the desert endlessly, the temple of Pandora chained to his back, until the swirling sands rip the very flesh from his bones. Stay true to the song of the siren, Kratos. Your journey begins here. Pray it leads you back to Athens, with Pandora's box.
Follow the song of the sirens, Kratos. Find and destroy them all, and the path through the deadly sands will be open to you.
Cool. My recollection, my
Follow the
my recollection
song of the
about
sirens, Kratos. Find and destroy them.
about Greek mythology is that Kronos is the father of Zeus. I could be wrong on that. But yeah, basically the Titans were the gods before the gods, and that Kronos, I believe, ate all of his children. I think that's how it goes. So we're going to wander this desert in search of sirens, and we have to follow audio clues. And upon killing them, the path forward will be revealed. This is one of those things, one of those parts of the game that didn't stick with me, but it's coming back as soon as we reach it. Probably a little bit easier with the higher resolution. The sand doesn't seem to quite obscure the vision as much as I think as I remember it. I'm not hearing any sirens yet. Sirens also obviously mythical beasts that lured sailors to their death with their songs. Most famous in Homer's epic poem, the Odyssey, which tells of Odysseus, who's a Greek hero, his journey home following the end of the war against Troy, which is covered in the first epic poem by Homer, the Iliad. And then if you want to know what the Trojan perspective on that is there's a poem by Virgil called the Aeneid that discusses those sort of events from the perspective of the Trojans and then the founding of Rome. It's sort of the Roman epic poem. Not a lot of games made about Roman mythology, but very, very similar to ancient Greece. Rome, I think, partially part of the reason you don't see as many Roman games is I think Rome. There's the names are very similar and the mythology is very similar, and then also there's a significant period in which Rome was a Christian empire and abandoned its sort of multi-theistic pagan traditions. And I think there's a lot of people who remember Rome more for that kind of time period, although Rome was also had its fair share of persecution against the early Christian church. So I think it's an interesting to think of Rome as being more Christian in light of things like Emperor Nero and sort of his persecution of the early Christian church. So I'm still getting red orbs out of here, which is good because I don't want to hunt down every single box in this desert. Okay, I'm hearing a siren now, finally. I think it's to my right? No, it's getting fainter. Okay, I see her. So I kind of have to mostly stick to light attacks with the sirens because the light attacks tend to sweep a little bit more, and the heavier attacks tend to be more straightforward. And as a result, their constant dodging makes it difficult to hit them with much, and this is really obnoxious. Actually, this charge is working pretty well. I'd like to get her with the last part of it. Can't grab her, yeah. The grab is for the quick time event that kills them. This is really, really annoying. Okay, got her there. There we go. That was fairly brutal. Just broke her in half.
You must find and destroy the 2 remaining sirens before you may pass.
Okay, 2 more. I think I'm going to focus on using magic on them from here on out because that was really, really annoying. There's another statue of Athena here.
You must find and destroy the 2 remaining sirens before you may pass.
Now, maybe I think those textures are new. So there seems to be the character models for the main characters, well, Kratos. I'm guessing Ares too, and the texture work on the main models seem pretty good. The enemies still seem very low poly, and the textures, the world textures especially, seem pretty muddy and like they haven't been updated. But yeah, we got to find 2 more of those sirens out here in the middle of this desert. So I'll be listening for another song. Yeah, I'm kind of learning about how to do this as I go, and I noticed that when I was using the mute button on the Yeti, when I would unmute it, it created a visible, or an audible, I should say, little synesthesia there, an audible pop, like somebody tapping on the microphone. So I'm trying to avoid touching it and just being as quiet as I can during the cutscenes. I'm not going to talk during cutscenes. I think that's incredibly obnoxious. I hate that when I'm watching Let's Plays or streams. So I'm going to stick to that, but I'm going to try to not actually physically interact with the microphone as much as possible. The exception being if I have to take a break. But I cut those parts out of the YouTube videos, and that's only for people who are watching the stream, which is right now nobody. Okay. So the red orb chest I do want to find, since I need 9,000 to get the Blades of Chaos to level 5, which I believe is the last level. So I'm trying to find... Definitely want to get as many red orbs as I can. The amount of red orbs you get over the course of the game increases. I think it's to disincentivize you from just pumping them all into the blades right off the bat, but that's still what I'm planning on doing. Yesterday, I believe I said I was going to walk back. I'm going to walk back what I said yesterday, which is that I was planning on increasing magic and not just focusing on the blades. I'm going to focus on the blades till they're maxed. And then I'll probably dump some points in the Poseidon magic, which I think seems like it's the strongest one. I don't remember what the fourth magic is. It may be the Hades magic. I don't recall. So this is a very boring section of the game. Maybe a reason I don't recollect this. Is this another box? There is. I just heard a little bit of something. Maybe. I'm going to come back this direction, but I want to make sure I get this chest first. I don't think this desert's very big, but the camera angle here... I think it's just the howling. The camera angle here is doing me no favors in terms of locating these sirens. Okay, so I've been over here already. And I tend to want to stick to the walls, which is obviously not the correct technique. But that's the best way to get through a maze, and it's also been instilled in me in my youth to follow the walls in video games, and mostly from playing EverQuest when I was in junior high and high school. It was the safest way to get through zones was to just follow the zone wall. And as a result, like I have this incredible tendency to want to follow walls rather than just moving out towards the middle of an area. EverQuest, of course, didn't have maps, so it was very difficult to know where you were in relation to the wide world around you. And one of the easiest ways to maintain some sort of sense of direction was to follow zone walls. But I'm going to have to just stake out right in the middle of this area and see if I can find the sirens that way. Because following the wall is getting me nowhere. So there are two more out here somewhere. Hearing something that must be a siren. Yep. I know she's, yeah, there she is. I knew she was in front of me. Oh, they're both over here. Oh wait, no, that's a Minotaur. There we go. That's two down. This whole concept of...
You must find and destroy the final siren before you may pass.
This whole concept of finding and destroying these sirens in the middle of the desert is very video gamey. It doesn't really make sense given that the sirens are not really desert creatures, they're ocean creatures. I mean, I could be wrong about that, I guess. I said I'm not some Greek myth expert, but my recollection is that sirens were, marine creatures, not things that you would find in a desert. But I guess it's a reference that people are familiar with, so it goes in the game. And there's another chest over here. So looking for that last siren, trying to stick to the middle, because I think that'll give me the best chance of hearing the siren's call. from the zone walls. I hear it. Oh boy. Good, thank God. Get out of this damn desert. There she is. She has hidden desert Minotaur as well. Is the singular, or is the plural of Minotaur Minotaurs? I honestly don't know. Or is it Minotaurs both singular and plural? It doesn't really make sense, because as far as I'm aware, there's only one Minotaur in Greek mythology. It's like son of a king or something, and Daedalus had to build a maze, a labyrinth, for the Minotaur to go in, because the king was like ashamed of the fact that his son was a Minotaur. Which, I mean, I might be ashamed too, because that seems to imply that you were cuckolded by a bull. So it seems like a reasonable thing to be embarrassed by. Jesus. Where's she going? She's off. She's booking it. She wants none of this. There we go. And that's the third.
The desert sirens have been destroyed, Kratos. The path before you is now revealed.
Enjoying a nice hoppy IPA on this fine Sunday afternoon. Get a little bit of health from these Minotaurs. I gotta remember that you can kill Minotaurs for health. I always forget that. I'm always trying to get those red orbs, and as a result, I pass up on something that can be more valuable in certain situations. Like right now, I need the health. Especially because I don't think it's going to give me any more red orbs, given that I killed several of them with the first siren. And they seem to, for the infinitely respawning enemies, they seem to not want to give you red orbs for too many of them. So yesterday I mentioned having some issues with my HD60 Pro in terms of there being a little bit of crackling and popping in the game audio when I'm streaming, and I think I've come up with a solution to that, and it seems to be to simply change your audio setting and then change it right back, and somehow that refreshes something and fixes the issue. I didn't find that issue online, or that solution, I should say. I found the issue online. It's a pretty common issue people are having with. I don't think it's just the HD60 Pro. I think it's the entire Elgato line. Problems with that issue, and the crackling game audio when you're recording that doesn't show up in the actual recording, as far as I can tell, not in the stream, but does show up in your headset or whatever you're using to listen to the game while you're doing it. And yeah, that seemed to fix it for me. For whatever reason. I'm not going to question it.